I want to speak about the sheer hypocrisy in some Mexicans and other groups of people out there in Los Angeles who are trying to tie and attach foundational Black Americans into the riots they got going on out there and the protests and things like that. And this is a bunch of nonsense, and this is done as a way to give authenticity to their fight and struggle, to give it legitimacy off of the fight and hard work that our ancestors did. And damn that, because when we in foundational Black American society need some fighting or advocacy done for our lineage, we look to not a damn soul. And even if these other people could help us, they wouldn't. And most of the time these other groups of people, they work in opposition to the positive strides we trying to bring into FBA society. If you really want to get down to the nitty gritty, we in FBA society that looked out for people, to our own detriment. We've overly extended ourselves to the point these people feel entitled that we must look out for them. So damn that, we don't owe these people not a damn thing. These groups of people owe us, and if they would take some of that, momentum that they using and all of that, energy that they putting into flying these foreign flags and out there riding, if they would take that and, apply it to their homeland wouldn't be in shambles, and them having to come over here and flee to USA, which is the land that FBA's built, because we as foundational Black Americans, we are American. If you really want to get down to the nitty gritty, we're the only real true Americans, and this is why we call ourselves foundational, because it means the beginning and the building of. There would be no USA without FBA. Although America, is not without her fair share of problems, she's still one of the greatest places to live on earth. Why you think everybody and their mother want to come up over here? You know what I mean? And this is, I'm hearing now that they did deploy the National Guard. They got a curfew, and, this protest is popping up all around the country, but this ain't an FBA fight, and, I say that we stay out of it because these other groups of people don't give a damn about, us. In fact, they take up a anti-foundational Black American stance more often than not. And this is in no way like our fights we have for racial justice and equality, us fighting for civil rights, because we were fighting for noble and just causes. These people ain't got a leg to stand on other than, they want to be in the country, illegally, and that ain't the way things work. We got laws and, we got things implemented, and there's a right and a wrong way to go about it. And the way they going about it is the wrong way. We don't owe these people not a damn thing. This is nowhere near like, our civil rights struggles and battles that we fought. These people ain't got the same wherewithal and tenacity as, our FBA ancestors, or we do, if you really want to be truthful about it, and a lot of these Mexicans and Latinos in general, tethers in general, but now we speaking on the Mexicans. A lot of these Mexicans and Latinos, they take up an anti-foundational Black American stance on things. These people are anti-Black. These people classify as white in hopes of aligning themselves with the dominant white society. They'll throw out that N word at the drop of a dime. So I hope and pray Donald Trump gets them all out of here, because that's about the only thing I stand with Donald Trump on, is getting all this mass immigration up out of the country, because it's hurting, us Americans, especially us foundational Black Americans, so I stand in alignment and agreement with him on that. And we don't owe these people not a damn thing. Like I said, these people come over here with an anti-FBA disposition, and these people work, to oppose any positive thing we try to bring into FBA society, truth be told. So I got the audio and the video of, why, an example why we shouldn't, get involved and advocate for these other groups of people, because they don't give a damn about our needs and interests, and here we have it. Mexican tethers is sitting up there, talking, speaking BS on our justice claim, which is reparations to descendants of freedmen, pocket watching us in FBA society. So I got the audio and the video of this nonsense, and we're going to walk through and talk about it. But this is an example why we don't owe people not a damn thing. People owe us. We done fought for civil rights, for people to be able to come over to this country. Our ancestors fought that to our own detriment, and we're done looking out for people. We got to take care of home first and foremost, which means we look out for FBA's needs, business, and issues first and foremost. But let's get into it, family. Fair use.
Your turn into to those young raza or raza who want to believe that, you better turn your TV, brother. You better turn your radio, man.
So what do you think about these Black Lives Matter that they want to be paid for being what is it, slaves and all that?
Reparations.
Yeah, there.
Are you talking about well, I heard they passed in North Carolina.
Yes.
But it was a small little town in North Carolina.
See, these people just pocket watching, and they ain't got no legitimate leg to stand on as to why reparations shouldn't be allocated to descendants of freedmen. Their only argument is, I can't have it, I don't want you to have it. And right now they just throwing out trick bags. Truth be told, as far as reparations, they trying to say schooling and everything under the sun, but cash reparations and anything that's posing to be reparations without offering cash, that ain't reparations at all. That's a trick bag. But just the mere fact of us getting something in FBA society that excludes others, that's the fact that they can't stomach and deal with.
I know that past reparations for whoever's over there. I'm sure they'll try to do something out here in California. I think they already actually got a little board going that they're going to start looking into it. So
yeah, and that's what we, the Raza, need to step up, protest, and I'm talking major.
See, they talking about working in opposition to our reparations claim. So damn us looking out for Mexicans and any other group of immigrant people. Immigration don't benefit us in FBA society. And damn the Democrats and the Democratic shills, and the coons and the tethers who want to push that narrative of there being some minority coalition, black and brown unity. All of that stuff is designed to keep us in FBA society getting the short end of the stick.
And turn around and tell them no. Nobody getting reparations until the Native Americans and the Mexicans get ours first.
And the Mexican is a non-factor, and the red Native American, they already got paid, and truth be told, Mexicans got paid too, and we were, the black aboriginals as well. If you really want to get down to the nitty gritty, yeah, some of the slaves were brought over from Africa, and that along with the black aboriginals that were already here on this land, when we all came together, now we had an ethnogenesis and we became foundational black Americans, so everybody else got paid but FBA. The red native got paid, Jewish people got paid, people in them internment camps got paid, and even Mexico got paid when Mexico went to war with the U.S. in the 1800s, and the U.S. took Mexico, which was California at the time, from them. They got reparations to the tune of $15 million, family. You can check that up. You can check and look that up, and these people are just speaking on, reparations because, negatively about reparations because they can't get nothing, so if they can't gain, they like the hell with it. We don't want nobody to gain from it. Not, they don't care that it's the right and just thing to do is to allocate that to our specific lineage, which is freedmen. They don't give a damn about that. Their only argument and leg to stand on is that I can't have it, I don't want nobody else to. So damn these people. We don't owe these people nothing.
We've been going through this crap a lot longer, so I don't want to hear it. Because it's not fair, dog. How are you going to give a bunch of money to a specific group, dog? This is the United States, a melting pot. How are you going to give it to a specific group?
Because right now,
in that so-called melting pot that they speak about, there would be no melting pot if it wasn't for foundational black Americans. The red Native American, didn't have nothing to do with building of America. We laid the groundwork. We were enslaved, and forced to build up the infrastructure, of America. And America still got some of the remnants of slavery. That money's still circulating around in society. So we got to get paid, in foundational black American society, point blank, period. We don't owe nobody a damn explanation as to why, we need reparations. They know we need reparations. Their only thing is that they can't have it, so they don't want us to have it. They ain't entitled to it. Their specific group, and that ain't an argument. That's just I can't have it, and I don't want you to have it. But let's continue.
They've got the white people with so much guilt. It was your parents.
Yeah.
And it goes back to this. That would be like me going back and talking about, hey, fool, you busted on my homie. You told me, hey, but then
no, that wouldn't even be like that.
It's no, but
that's not even close.
Two different things. He's saying things that don't even make sense. He's just speaking a bunch of nonsense. We're old in foundational black American society. Our ancestors was, forced into slavery and bondage, and we suffered atrocities. We had war acts committed against our lineage, and, we going to get compensation because the talk of reparations ain't going nowhere. We ain't taking our foot up off the gas pedal. You other groups of people can cry and get mad if you want. And this is why we ain't looking out for, these immigrant tethers coming over here, because a lot of these people, they take up an anti-FBA disposition, and a lot of these groups of people that want us to, advocate and speak up for them, they're against us getting our justice claim in the form of cash reparations.
Close. It'd be like, hey, fool, your great-great-great-grandfather busted on my great grandmother.
But that's that's what I'm getting at with that. Our stuff with our war wasn't that long ago. So if they can bring something up from 200 years ago, shit, this should be worse. In other words, this should be.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, family. Like I said, we owe these people not a damn thing. And you know, the Mexicans already got paid in the 1800s to the tune of $15 million. And this is proof and evidence of why we ain't getting out here putting the cape on for all of these immigrant groups. Because, you know, these people got an anti-FBA disposition. They don't want to get us, they don't want to see us get our reparations and justice claim. And we done overly extended ourselves to these people to the point of our own detriment. So, in closing, we owe these people not a damn thing, and we in FBA society are all we got and all we ever had. And right now, at this point in time, we only looking out for our needs, interests, and things like that first and foremost. And if you mad, you just gonna have to get mad to be glad. Peace.